one of the best use cases of ChatGPT is to help you with improve your productivity. It can save you time. You can do a lot more in much less. Even if video learning, if you are doing research, you are writing content, you are writing code, you can do more in less. Like if you are a kind of person who open 10 tabs to find one thing, ChatGPT can do it in most use cases. And along with ChatGPT, once you start using this, there are a ton of AI tools around this, built upon this, similar to this, which you can use to improve your productivity. And one thing is most important is be cautious with AI tools. It is very important for the content writer who have started using this. Many times it can generate wrong content, and many times it can generate wrong code. And it is very possible, if you are researching a very narrow topic, it is very possible that if that topic doesn't exist in the English language, it doesn't exist on internet, there is a very high likelihood that you will get the biased response. Because it has, specifically in case of ChatGPT, it has consumed content from internet, or most of that content is in English. If you are trying to learn something with ChatGPT which primarily exists in non-English languages, then you are very likely to get some biased responses. Okay, so next thing is what can do. It's almost, as we mentioned in our meetup page, it's almost anyone who is using laptop to either for work or learn or using internet. So they can use it to improve their productivity. It is not a compulsion for you to use it compulsively, but if there is something in your workflow which you do multiple times or which takes a considerable time and you find it boring, you can have ChatGPT do it, at least the initial draft for it. So few of the professionals who can benefit are there are WordPress designers. Designers also can benefit. We'll come to that. Content writers, obviously, they can write content, they can do research quickly, they can refresh content, they can proofread and edit. You can also have ChatGPT to proofread and edit your content. You can take a research paper and ask the ChatGPT to write it for like second grade student. So that is something you can do in like within few seconds. Plugin developers can also use to some extent. I am not a plugin developer, I am not a programmer, but I have used ChatGPT to write a plugin and publish it in WordPress server. So those who are writing code can obviously use for some specific, like repetitive task. If you are using it to write code, it is best for the kind of code which are very common. Which is very common. If your answer to your query or sample code exists on like 10-20 different websites, it's very likely that ChatGPT can do it better for you. Support for this can also use. So you can, if you manage your company support, in that case you can. There are AI models for. How many of you have used ChatGPT? OpenAI Playground. OpenAI Playground has a. Okay. So once you use ChatGPT, after that the OpenAI has various models where you can feed your own data, train it, and have this ChatGPT respond, have your own AI respond based on that data. So you can provide your company's knowledge base, you can provide it all the past support ticket database and have the ChatGPT auto generate a response based on that. So you can literally reduce your support team from like a single person can handle. If single person is handling 10 tickets a day, they can handle like 100 tickets a day. This is very useful for those companies who already have a lot of text data in their support database. If they have a knowledge base, you can have a very friendly chatbot built who can help with the support queries. Next we have how many of you actively post on social media? Okay. So one of the has anyone tried yet like writing an entire Twitter thread from a blog? That is something. For example, if you are into content creation or if you are creating social media posts, you can provide it like entire content or idea and it can generate post. So as of now, the ChatGPT doesn't have data for recent blogs. Like it is not connected to real time with internet. So one other thing I tried in the past is to take a blog which was published in 2020 or 2021. I just gave the link and told it to write a Twitter thread with 10 interesting tweets and also use hashtags. So I wrote that, and those were pretty decent. Average content, it was kind of somewhat better than the average content writer. If you try 10 different prompts, you will get an idea of how you will get your prompt improved, and you will also get an idea how it is going to help you. Marketing professionals also real question. So every other profession with unmentioned can use, they just need to explore. So you can use ChatGPT while you are creating websites. So when you are creating websites, how many of you use Lorem Ipsum dubbing content, or how many of you see Lorem Ipsum on a website and feel this should not be there on a live website? So one of the things happen, like in case of small businesses, they do not have a separate team for web copywriters. So when they go to a developer or a designer, what they do is they use Lorem Ipsum, and to an average person who is not into tech, who is reading the Lorem Ipsum text for the first time, they may get confused and they will not get a sense of what your design is trying to convey. So you can have ChatGPT, so you can just give a prompt like, this is the name of business, this is the kind of business they do. Help me write some sample content for their homepage, for their about page. You can tell the name of section and it will generate. Help me write a testimonial for a client, for a business, this, and it will generate you. I recently used this in a client website, and I literally, that will not be final content, but it will be much better than Lorem Ipsum. At least a non-technical person who sees that will get a sense of what your design is trying to convey. Writing on it, obviously, I do not need to tell you more. Okay, analyzing data is one area where you can use. So, I am too much with Google Sheets, so I will quote example in case of Google Sheets only. So, and you can also use for advanced database to write SQL queries and all. For me, it is like I have a very poor memory. I know this is something Google Sheet can do, but I don't know how to write formula for this. I don't know the exact syntax for this formula or exact formula for that. So in those cases, I just tell ChatGPT to write this, and in most cases, it can write like 2-3 lines of Google Sheet formula in like 1 minute or 30 seconds. And if I do that myself, I can do that myself. But if I do it myself, I will open 4 or 5 different pages, and it will take me at least 10 minutes. At least 10 minutes. In some cases, it can also take 1 hour if that formula is completely new to me, or if I am trying to implement a very complex search. Managing social media, obviously. Okay, so one another use, there is one more use case if there are marketing professionals who are using various tools and if they are using Google Sheet to monitor data. So in those cases, they can write custom script, custom triggers, and it is most marketing professionals do not code. Most marketing professionals are not very good at using advanced Google Sheet techniques. So with ChatGPT, they can try. These are the things. Writing code, obviously, you can. Okay. So far, in my experience, though I am not a coder, so I have very less experience on this part. But what I have seen is if you provide a very specific prompt and you are expecting a kind of code which is less than 10-20 lines, so it works perfectly in most cases. And that kind of code is so you can have it to write small functions. You can write. If you try as of now, if you try to write an entire plugin with ChatGPT, then that is going to piss you off. Because it will, how many of you have faced like when trying to get a long response and ChatGPT stops in the middle? It doesn't complete. Yeah. Yes. So that is a big problem. You want to, if you're a developer, you write code in the best way. As of now, with the current version of ChatGPT, it is better to have it write a small snippets of code rather than the entire. Or for the entire ideation part, you can ask it like how to go about this entire idea, and have. Do it in a way that your response is not going to be like 1,000 words. So, If you are planning to learn something new, that is a very personal kind of use case out of from the work we do for money part. So if you are trying to learn a completely new topic, you can ask the ChatGPT to explain the topic to you. You can ask the ChatGPT to suggest you the most popular books and a summary of those books. Most popular, best resources on that. And in most cases, it is better than many other sources. Like there are sources which are biased for some reason in case of learning. For example, if you land on a blog, health blog, and you find if the website is selling supplements, in that case, some of their article might be somewhat biased, but you will find less bias in ChatGPT. At least in some cases, not in every cases, but in some cases you will find less bias. And one other thing you can do with ChatGPT is also you can ask the ChatGPT to act as a specific person whose work is there on internet. At least decent amount of work is there. For example, if there is an author who has written 10 to 20 different books, you can ask the ChatGPT to act as this author or this person and help me with this following question. You can have it for a relationship advice also, or a very personal question, or if you want to ask to a person who is not there. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So, if you have a favorite author and you want to know how if you have a question for your favorite author or favorite personality, and you do not have the option to ask your question directly, you can have the ChatGPT to give you a similar response. You will not have the satisfaction of asking that person directly, but in most cases, if that person's work on that domain is very popular on the internet, it is very likely you will get a response which is like 70, 80, 90% close to their actual response. And obviously, once you start using it and once you start reflecting your day, once you find yourself doing same thing over and over again, you will give the ChatGPT try automatically to do that new task. Okay, so we all have tried. So one of the thing this is the most important thing. The faster you learn this, you're going to have least disappointments. Like many people I see struggle with this part, and I see many people who struggle with even decent Google search. So if you know how to search, if you know how to use keywords in a way, how to use advanced Google operators. So similarly with OpenAI, if you know how to provide it a prompt, you can get your desired response in let's say 1 or 2 attempts. And if you have a very kind of repetitive task, like you are writing articles every day, in those cases, for your first article, you will need let's say 10 to 15 different prompts. If you try different prompts, and from second or third article, you will be doing like 2 prompts, 3 prompts, or 1 prompt to write an entire blog or to write an entire layout or something. So do experiment with this. I have a few tips. There are common mistakes basically which many people do when writing prompts. So one is like overloading a prompt. So although ChatGPT can understand our language like human-like text, but if we overload it too much, it is going to get confused and you will get some. So the idea is to be as precise and concise at the same time. Make your prompt in a way that it focuses on what you are looking for. It doesn't include a lot of things in it. So one thing is, and one important thing is, if you are writing a prompt, like most of us today, we find many people today who are using. I'm almost sure most of you have seen like people using the acronyms they use on WhatsApp using on email. So if you use those kind of things or jargon which mean different things in different contexts, ChatGPT may not understand or it may interpret. So avoid jargon for the first step, or you can, if there is a kind of acronym you use every single time or multiple times, like if you are writing content every single day with ChatGPT or you are writing code, so you can have a list of instruction where you explain those terms to ChatGPT and have it as a part of every thread with ChatGPT. That makes the job easier. So there are various online tools also which can help you generate good prompt for a specific use case. They can provide you kind of context. Okay, so being two-way or open-ended, so in those cases you will get a response, but it is very likely that you will not get the desired response. Okay, so this is specifically important if you are writing code or content or you are looking for very specific thing. So in those cases, it is very important that you give it enough context or a specific instruction, like what you are trying to achieve. Otherwise, it is going to give the most generic or most common kind of response, and you will not get what you are looking for. And in most cases, a single prompt can become like 10-20 different prompts. And or if you are looking for a very long response, in those cases, a long prompt can lead to like you generating response 10 times, or you asking ChatGPT to continue for another 3 times. Okay. So here is a live demo. Recorded, but it's not live. So WordCamp Bangalore is coming. How many? Okay, so let me first ask you: how many of you know WordCamps? How many of you are aware about the WordCamp events? Okay, so we have Delhi. Okay, so like this is the Bengaluru WordPress community is organizing this meetup. Like we organize every single month almost, and every year the places where we have like active community organize a bigger event, WordCamp, in range of like 300 people to 1,000 people depending on different cities. So we have WordCamp Bengaluru coming up this year in maybe most likely June, July. We have it's in early planning stage. So this is a hypothetical scenario. We are going to write a blog for WordPress Bangalore 2023. In this event, many people from different states or different cities of India are also going to attend. So we are going to write a blog like top 10 historical places to visit in Bangalore. So and this entire blog is going to be generated with just one prompt. Just one prompt and this involves a good amount of research. So I just hope this video plays automatically. Okay, so I'm asking the ChatGPT to write a blog on top topic. Can people see it?
Can't read it.
Can't read it. Okay, so I will try to explain it.
If you can read out, we will understand the problem.
Okay. Okay, so I will read it out. Okay. So I'm asking ChatGPT to write a blog on the topic 10 top 10 historical places to visit in Bangalore. And for every place, add the following. I'm asking it to add double hands for writing in Markdown. I'm asking it to provide location detail, like the nearest stop, the nearest bus stop, nearest metro stop, and I'm asking it to provide a description. I'm asking it to provide a Google Map link, and its interest free or paid. All those things I'm asking it to do, and 3-4 sentence description. But this is not taken ready. Okay, so now ChatGPT will write this entire blog for me. So welcome to WordCamp Bangalore 2023. As you explore this city during your visit, be sure to check out some of its rich history and cultural heritage. So now it has Tipu Sultan Summer Palace. Opening time entry, it's free or paid. Nearest bus stop, Kia Market 3.5 km. Nearest metro stop, Majestic 2.5 km. And the description, then there is a Google Map link. And this is writing entirely into Markdown, so you can take it and paste it to WordPress editor or maybe Notion or some other. And I just specified I use 2 has, so it is using headings. And with a single prompt, it is generating the entire blog.
So this actually the prompt that you have given.
Yes.
Do you have a structure of the prompt? How do you prompt it in terms of like first you will give the premise, obviously
Yes.
10 historical places in Bangalore,
Yes.
right? Then what are the other things that you want? Like suppose this is the blog which is coming up, right?
Yes.
The Bangalore Fort and the timing.
Yes.
So when you are writing the prompt or the ChatGPT, do you format it accordingly and then go about it, or how
So
is
for like this is a kind of list kind of blog where you have a specific kind of
Yeah,
section
it's a
repeating
listing,
multiple times.
yeah.
So I just did it like for every single item, every single place, give the heading, use double hash in front of it, just to make sure this becomes H2. When I paste it in Notion, I do not want to do that myself.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So to save that time, and I also asked it to write if the interest free or paid in this format. I gave an example. At the end of the session, you'll get this presentation, and you will not have a problem in that. So, and in that, I tried 3 different items, and 2-3 prompts I was able to get this. output in a single go.
Alright.
And so in between the blog, if ChatGPT stops midway, we can ask why stop, please continue, or please continue something.
Yeah.
So that I have to do, otherwise
Okay.
it generated in that one. But this kind of blog is not something I would recommend. If you are creating with ChatGPT, make sure you proofread or you check it, the accuracy of facts.
Just
So,
one more thing
yeah.
I want to understand over here.
Yeah.
Will the ChatGPT do plagiarism check as well?
You can use third-party tools. So far, in my experience, I used copy escape to test the data. In most cases, I never found that the
It's
content is
plagiarized.
plagiarized. So it is already plagiarism free. In most.
So it's a unique content.
Yes. But there is a very high likelihood someone else in the world is using the same kind of prompt and getting the same kind of response. By the time you publish your blog, someone else has already published it. In those cases, it may have plagiarism with that article. And also, yes, that is one case. Yes.
The content we get from ChatGPT,
Yes.
will it ever get indexed in Google?
Yeah,
Is it
Google is
SEO
good.
friendly?
Google doesn't care. So far, what I have explored and so far, most experts have explored, Google doesn't care about the copied content. Even the copied content, it doesn't care.
Is it SEO friendly?
End of the day, SEO friend. End of the day, the biggest part of SEO is like it should be user friendly. If someone is coming to your website and leaving your website in let's say 5 seconds, this is one of the biggest, strongest real signal which cannot fade, which Google gets from your Google Analytics, from their trackers, search console, they get it. So if your content is interesting enough to keep your reader hooked till the end, or like 70-80%, so I don't think it matters. It is generated using AI, or in some cases you can use AI to give you a rough draft or a rough structure, which a reader can proofread. Like in this kind of now, the important thing is since ChatGPT do not have the access to real live data, like it has access to like December 2021 or 2022, I'm not certain. So in those cases, it is possible that nearest metro stop might be different. There may have different bus stops. There may have different travel direction. There may have been different route. So if you are trying to pull out this kind of data, although I used for this example, so I wanted to provide maximum parameters to it. So if you are writing this kind of code, then you need to verify at least those facts. Those facts, like opening closing time, it may be fetching from some log, might not be very accurate. So those kind of data which requires recent updates, like place opening time or driving distance or something, those kind of things. ChatGPT can provide you a rough draft for a starting point, but you will have to verify those yourself. So this is kind of one of the most use case which I saw. Yeah, please ask.
Is this limited to content creation or it has a larger scope?
In the end of the presentation, I'm also going to write an entire WordPress plugin with just ChatGPT. I will not edit the code myself. You will see that. So there are many use cases. Other use cases. You can use it for research. You can, if you are working with Google Sheets, you can use it to write formula. So,
Can you give an example of how to write formulas for sheets when doing analysis?
I do not have a presentation and for example, when I come to that slide, I will tell you few examples. So where I can use, we are coming to the use cases, various kind of common use cases. So far I have explored. So this is not a very standard list. You can find more use cases than I have found or I have listed in this. So these are all based on my experience with this ChatGPT or my understanding of various tools where I can use it. So, okay. So do you happen to ever use any kind of template? So writing an email, writing a resume, or writing any kind of email, or maybe writing, if you are creating a website, writing privacy policy, or writing term and condition pages. So you go to a generator, fill that information, and you put your email, and then you find there is a payment. So, or you find there are ton of ads. So I just, in my case, when I was building the website like last time, I just provided the name of the company and the details and asked the ChatGPT to write a standard privacy policy page and term and condition page, refund policy page. You can provide the instruction in one line, like we do not provide refunds, and it will write the standard clause for it. So you can use it for many kind of templates. Okay, so you can have ChatGPT to make to draft project proposals. If you are working as a freelance or working as a business, you can have. If you are going to offer a different kind of service. In my case, I started with building website, but in many cases, Many might ask me to design a brand identity. So if I'm going to provide a new service, I will have to design a new proposal, and I'm going to look for 10 different samples, then plan it. I can directly ask the ChatGPT, like, these are my criteria, these are my clauses, just write it. And if it doesn't provide proper response in first prompt, you can ask it and it remember the context, it remember the thread, like what has been said and the past in the thread, and based on it remember the conversation. So you can customize it further. So if you are a working professional, in those cases you can use it to proofread your resume, you can use it to proofread or write your cover letters or edit it, or you want to highlight a very specific, or you can also give the ChatGPT, this is a job description, write a compelling, interesting cover letter based on this job description. So if you are employed, you can do this. Okay, so website theme. If you are designing a theme or a template or demo, if you are creating a website, instead of using lorem ipsum, you can use better content so that it makes sense to non-technical people. At least many times it has happened. I used lorem ipsum on a website, and the person who reviewed that was reading that for the first time. So those people didn't know that this is a dummy text. They thought this is a different angle, or this is a bug with the website. So common policy basis on your website, then I guess you can have a starting draft for this. Yes.
So ChatGPT has already been integrated into WordPress, or it is going to?
There are third-party plugins which can provide you ChatGPT blocks. So you can use ChatGPT. You can while you are writing post in WordPress plugin, you can use ChatGPT to. You can give prompt there and get the content there. So it is not officially integrated, but there are third-party plugins there.
Okay, one more question.
Yes,
Is it just based on text, or it can also generate images and videos?
ChatGPT cannot do, but there are different tools for image generation. As of now,
Like, let's say that example only that tourist places are there.
Yes.
If we tell it to include the images, will it include the images or not?
at least it can provide you a link. At least, or it can do it or not. It can provide you a link on the WordPress plugin. Mentioned the WordPress plugin. I have not used it, but I saw the demo of that plugin. So those plugins also integrate with OpenAI. Have you heard of DALI or Stable Diffusion? Okay, or Midjourney. So there are like these are text generation tools. There are also image generation tools which generate images based on your text prompt. So describe an image and they get generated. So OpenAI has a standalone tool DALI and which generate images. And the WordPress plugin, there is a WordPress plugin there which I am not sure, but they in their prompt they also provide you images. So that is possible, not directly through ChatGPT interface as of now, but there are third-party tools built on this. There is something called ChatSonic, content writing tool. I'm not sure. They probably provide you images also. So there are other third-party tools, other tools by OpenAI or different companies.
So you have to manually add the photos to your tips, right? Like in blog or anything.
If you want to have the most interesting photos, most likely you will go and find. So for initial draft you can have it, but it's completely what you depend on what you want. Are you okay with something generic, or are you do you want to have it like have the blog your test? So if you want to have that, you will obviously go research and replace content, update it. Like, but at least you will have a first draft or some sort of research you can have it. Typical email like hiring job applications. Yeah. If you write blog and if you are a blogger and you find it is tough for you to manage your social media, so you can have a ChatGPT to write tweets or social media posts based on your blog content. So yes.
So, sorry, can you take attachments, like if I attach an image and say describe this?
As of now, not as of now, but it is possible that there must be some third-party tools. If that is a very common repetitive use case in your case, so in that case, you can try different tools. There are like hundreds of tools built on ChatGPT who will take your attachment and read it, and they will provide you ChatGPT APIs, and you can get the response. So as of now, you can provide a long term. You can provide like this is a 2,000 words blog I have written. Just proofread and edit and make sure this align, this and
Yeah, even for summarizing it works.
Yeah, summarizing also is possible. But C was talking especially about attachment. So attachment as of now directly ChatGPT interface as of now. But third party tools you can look for. Yeah. So coming to some personal use cases. So you can if you are planning to go to a dietitian, go to a gym, or go to if you are thinking about going but you have been procrastinating for like couple of months, you can have the ChatGPT provide you a plan, at least a starting plan. You can have it provide you a diet plan based on your recommendation, your suggestion, like I want to eat this, but provide me a diet plan. And you can, if you cook yourself, you have limited number of ingredients. There are websites which can provide you with these ingredients what you can make, but with ChatGPT you can also do that. You can tell that I have this ingredient at my home, what can I do?
Okay, and what about privacy? Like, does it collect personalized data and anything like that? So they can
collect data for its improvement. I have not
like
written it.
they are providing free platforms, so definitely they will be collecting data to make profit in the future.
As of now, they also today I think today or yesterday they also launched a paid plan also.
Okay.
For $45, $42 a month maybe. So you have a paid version of ChatGPT also. So they do store data for, but my guess is that it must be anonymized and it will be for like training the AI itself, not more than that. It is not that it is going to take your data and publish with your name or something. That is not going to happen. If you are more interested, you can read that entire privacy policy. As of now, I have not written that in detail.
Which might be generated by their own tech.
That is possible.
I think
But
it's just like Alexa or Siri.
Yeah,
You're just training the
yeah.
AI for your personal need.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to. You'll just get the targeted ads maybe end up there.
As of now, that is also not happening. Seem to not happening, but in future that.
Because they need us. Later they'll start using
Yeah,
us.
maybe they will find a way to monetize. They need to sustain themselves, and the company behind OpenAI, they was initially not for profit. They have turned it to cap profit. So obviously they are going to make profit, but use it. If any of professional case it makes sense with that budget, you can use it. As of now, the free plan is also available.
So does it do documentation and if it
It's
is
listening, right? No?
does it
Okay, so the code ChatGPT provides, it explains what this is doing. It adds comment, it provides, so you can try it. At least it should give you a good starting point. At least if a documentation is going to take you 2 or 3 hours, I'm almost sure with the help of ChatGPT you will be able to do it like in 1 hour. So you can give it a so okay. So you can have ChatGPT to provide a second opinion, or you can have it as a virtual assistant, virtual research assistant. So if you want to look for like 10 popular places or 10 things, or at the same time you can provide it a criteria. Like in the full blog, I can also specify. Give me 10 popular places in Bangalore which are open on Sunday between this or this time. Similarly, you can also provide a criteria. Give me give me a tool to do something maybe which is free, which is paid, or you can provide money constraint on this. And instead, if you are looking for something where you need to open like 10, 20 different Google searches, most likely ChatGPT can help you with just one. In most cases, if you are looking for very specific, you want to try your best, you will have to go to Google. But if you are just looking to solve your problem or just to find something good enough, so in those cases, you can have ChatGPT. Okay, so you can have ChatGPT to proofread and enhance your article or blogs. If you write it yourself, then no, it is okay. But you can have ChatGPT to write proofread. You can provide it a specific context, like proofread it for consistency, proofread it for like logical fallacies. It can check, and if there is a logical fallacy here, it can tell you. It might not be accurate in 100% of the time, but it is like going to help you like with 80% of the work or 90% of the work. So if you write it yourself and publish it, you can have it proofread. You can have ChatGPT to draft important emails, and it is also possible. It can also help you write the reply to an email. You can provide an email, and I got this email, and I want to give a professional confirmation on this email, or a professional rejection on this email, how should I write it? It will write an entire paragraph. In most cases, if you happen to feel stuck in a situation like I need to reply this, but I do not want to reply this, or I do not want to reply it like in one paragraph. I just want to write it like Tata paragraph or something. So you can have ChatGPT to write that in a professional way. You can have it to proofread your resume or job application, and if you are using the same resume for different jobs, that might not be the most optimum. You can provide the ChatGPT the job description and then provide your resume, and then tell it customize my resume or suggest changes in my resume to align with these job descriptions. So that is something you can also do. You can use it to write proposals, sales copies, writing web design proposals or a sales proposal or any kind of service proposal you can write with help of it. You can also use it to write a draft map.
Sir, I think it's gonna have a negative impact on freelancer who is especially to the content creation. So if I'm planning to make a content by myself without depending on the freelancer, so I can take the help of ChatGPT, and it's gonna put negative impact as well on to the freelancer, right?
See, this happens in every single case. If there is an improvement, if there is a new technology which is going to give you efficiency, people are going to use it. And those people who do not keep themselves up with those tools or technology, they will be left behind and they will suffer. It happens in case of almost every technology. When car got introduced, half car development got up. So their business got up. So if you get very good public transport in Bangalore, auto rickshaw fare will go down. But it's the rule of nature, you can say. So you can do it yourself, but the thing is, in some cases where it is important for a professional to review it or design it. So in those cases,
it cannot replace completely the creativity. Like whatever it is writing, it is getting somewhere. Like the data which is coming on that blog or anything.
even in our case,
It is copying from basically the internet only, right?
so our brain also works almost in same way to a very high extent. How many of your thought and ideas you can say that this is 100% original?
No, it's not.
Almost no. There is a very huge limit on free will also. If you are very interested in that, you can explore that. So it is using yes. So,
I guess the question is how does a content writer differentiate himself or herself in the market, saying that I'm using AI tools or I'm not using AI tools?
okay.
How do they market themselves?
So even if you use AI tools or not, so if you are providing a service to a client or a business owner or some, so AI as of now in itself cannot understand them on the context. You have to provide the context, and also it is, though it has knowledge of all the internet which you do not have, but it doesn't have the knowledge of the person you are providing the service. There are specific needs. At the end of the day, all the business happening or all the transactions happening are going to be a transaction or communication between human to human. Those data are being generated in real time. AI doesn't have access to that. So you can leverage.
So we already leverage Google anyway, right? To write
Yes, we use Google App. So
leverage Stack Overflow anyway.
yeah, one of the USP in those cases will be your ability to understand that person's needs and use various tools to provide a specific solution. The best solution with the use of tools. So although it makes easy for many people to do a ton of things, but since we already know many people who struggle with writing a good Google search, making a good Google search, there will be many people who will not know how to craft a decent prompt for this specific use case. And even if you know that, by default, a person will not be good at, by default, an average person will not be good at understanding humans. So that is one core area where that can be a USP, or you can focus that if you are providing some service to other person. And you can use ChatGPT or AI tools to improve your efficiency, but you can use your intelligence to proofread and edit and modify for that specific needs.
So,
Yeah.
as a the same response every time? with
No,
the same prompt?
no. It also has a button below to regenerate responses. It gives similar responses, many times it repeats, but if you try 2-3 times for the first time,
It depends
in
on
most
the
cases-
keyword actually.
It depends on the prompt also. So if you are going to provide a very restrictive prompt, like top 10 most popular WordPress plugins, in most cases you are going to get the same top 10 list. It may change some words, it may change the description, but if your prompt is way too restrictive where there is no scope of generating something else, in those cases it is obviously going to give you the same response. If you ask for a good morning message, 1000 times you get 1000 responses. So it is just that is your prompt, does your prompt have the scope to have different responses or not?
I was just trying to say that if students have to do homework, it will be they can simply do
Yeah,
it.
they are doing like it's already
Many people are doing it. Okay, if you are building a website, you can use ChatGPT. Obviously, to forget Lorem Ipsum, you do not need Lorem Ipsum anymore. At least after this session, you should not use. You can give the name of the business and just if you do not want to give a long prompt, you can just give the name of the business and the product or services. Or you can also give a competitor website. Like I am building a website for a business whose main competitor are these 3 websites. If those website has been online for let's say 3-4 years at least, provide me a good web copy for business, and you can provide the name of the business. And that simple 2-3 line prompt is good enough to provide a decent web copy. You can provide your list of pages. If you plan to incorporate a dedicated testimonial page, you can ask it to provide a header. I literally did a entire website and all the like 10-15 different pages and all the sections, section description, headings. I initially did with ChatGPT, then the client had got some of them replaced. But at least you are not supposed to use Lorem. If you write a content yourself, you can use it to enhance, or if you have got it from someone else, you can have it proofread or enhance or okay. So how many of you build website with WordPress? Just context. Okay. So thank you. So in many cases, what happens is you end up using too many plugins, and in many cases you are using a plugin for a very small requirement, and it is providing, let's say you are using just a very small one feature and it is providing you, let's say 10-20 different features. This is having a bad impact or it is just that you do not look at it. So in those cases you can have ChatGPT to write a custom snippet to do those things. We'll see an example of writing entire plugin with ChatGPT. If you are someone who use code snippets on to customize few small things of like WooCommerce, or if you are using very small plugin or plugin for a very small use case, in those cases you can just have the ChatGPT write a specific code snippet you can just use. Okay. You can also use it to write a custom script or custom plugin where you can automate a social media post. So there are third-party tools. Like as of now, there are tools which simply when you post your blog, it automatically goes to social media. There are tools for that. But you can have ChatGPT stay in between and craft better social media post from your blog. You can have ChatGPT sit between your social media tool and this website blog, and where ChatGPT does the bit thread creation or a specific social media post. You can also use it to analyze content of your competitor's website. If those websites have been live for more than a year or two, so in those cases it can analyze your competitor website. And also if you are planning a website for a new business or creating a website, or if it is your own idea and you are not sure what to have on your website, and if you know like 4 or 5 competitors, you can provide the list of competitors with ChatGPT.
So we have to provide the URL, right?
You can provide URL, but remember, ChatGPT do not have access to real-time internet.
Okay.
So if you are providing URL for a website which didn't exist like 1 year ago, ChatGPT has data till like 21st December 2021, I guess. So if the website URL you are providing was there before, and it is a popular enough website, it can work on URL or you will have to provide it.
Okay.
So
Else we have to copy the content of that website.
you can also ask ChatGPT to write a scrapper and scrap that website instead of doing that yourself.
Okay.
So if you truly want to improve your productivity, the idea is that get comfortable with the basics of it so that you understand just enough at least to write some basic level of scripts like Google Apps script to improve your working inside Google Sheet, or like the web scrapper I just mentioned. If you are just good enough, you can write a small web scrappers or tools. You can build small tools to repeat. You can have ChatGPT generate Python code for you. So very specific narrowing use case which is easy to do, but since you are not a developer, you cannot code. And if you know that this is possible, but you cannot code, in those cases you can take help. And if you know the basics of coding, at least basics how things work, in most cases you will be able to get something done which is very common. Like the one I mentioned, web scrapper. So if you are writing content, you can use it. And this is almost all covered. You can use it to ideate. You can also generate content ideas. You can provide like this is the target audience, this is the topic. What are the most important topics to cover? You can also use it to get quick summary. If you happen to come across a blog, which is like 20,000 word long, and you are just looking for something or you're looking to get something, you can just use Control C and provide that. Or if it is a whole blog, you can just provide a link to the ChatGPT, like summarize this article. Like if you are doing that for learning or doing that for research, like if you are writing a topic, writing content, and you want to refer to just instead of referring to entire internet with ChatGPT, you want to refer to like your top 3 competitors. You can provide content or a URL of those articles to ChatGPT and ask to plan a content or idea based on that, or summarize a specific article. It can also help you write content, obviously. And if you write content yourself, and even if you have written the content in ChatGPT, you can ask the ChatGPT to proofread based on this parameter. So you can tell this like, does this content have a formal tone or informal tone of voice? Is it understandable to a 10th grader student or not? So you can ask it and you can ask to modify it. You can get feedback on obviously. If you are trying to write in a specific tone, you can get the ChatGPT to give feedback on that also. Yeah. Many times what happens is like in case of bloggers or bloggers also, they create content what they want, and when they try to optimize for SEO, and they find it very hard, and in many cases they are also not connecting with the audience. So they get the joy after writing or creating. So you can, in those cases, they can have ChatGPT to optimize whatever piece of the content they like, modify this for this target demographics. Like this is my content, this is my experience, this is my journey, this is my blog, this is this is my experience of work at Asia or something, and you customize it for someone who is going for their first work. So most likely it will help you with that also. To depend on prompts, if your prompt is way too narrow or use case is way too narrow, so it may not be more helpful, but for most common use cases it will be very helpful in that also. You can also use it to repurpose content for like content repurposing is something many marketing professionals do, like when you have written for okay, so one of the use cases could be like if you are writing a blog on your website, you can provide a blog or a link to article or a blog to ChatGPT and ask the ChatGPT to find the most popular questions on the internet, which this blog's answer, and you can then ask those questions could be on Reddit or Stack Overflow or on Quora, and you can ask ChatGPT to write answers for those questions from your blog and link back to your blog, and you can use those responses to post to other websites also. You can use it to repurpose your content for different channels. Okay, so we are coming to Google Sheets. So Google Sheets is something many Google Sheet or Excel or the Apple numbers many people use, even in different professions like marketing professional, even many people use for their to track your personal expenses also. So there are many things you can do. You can okay. So this is a very interesting thing. You can, if you get a certain kind of email multiple times on a specific format, you can have ChatGPT write an email parser. And if this is when you want to have those kind of emails stored in your Google Sheets. So, for example, you are getting emails in a specific format from a specific source, and you want all those kind of email to be stored in a Google Sheet in a separate. How many of you are familiar with AppScript? AppScript. Oh, okay, so I will give you one. So Google Sheet has one good thing, like similar to JavaScript, Google also has the option to use AppScript, which can help you integrate all the services of Google. Like it has the ability to integrate with your Gmail account, with your Google Doc account, with your Google Sheets, almost all Google services. So you can write the AppScript. It is free. You can have the AppScript code to read your emails based on certain criteria and based on certain parameters, push those data in Google Sheets, and it will keep doing automatically every single day. You can provide it to like repeat it every 5 hours or repeat it every day. So that you can do. So one of the use case I did in one of my project was like there was a Airbnb host who had like 10 different experiences. They had vendors. They do not want to give access to their Gmail account. They are getting booking on a Gmail account and they were assigning those bookings manually to each vendor. They were providing details. So we had email parser which read their emails every 5 minutes and pass them, and then automatically summarize that in a custom invite message which they can save with their vendors. So in those cases, if you have an email where multiple people need to access those, email parser is something which can be very helpful, and you can have ChatGPT write for it. You can provide sample email and you can tell you want to extract that. And how many of you know regex? Okay. So you can also ask the ChatGPT to write regex formula for you. And this is one of a very boring job, like many developers find. So you can just provide like this is the string, this is the text, I want to fetch this, just write the regex formula. So you can also use it for in Google Sheet. Like recently I had a database with the addresses and I needed to fetch the pin code in a separate column. So and the addresses were like not well formatted that I can say like separated by comma or separated by something. This columns was not helpful. I just told ChatGPT to write a Google Sheet formula, simple Google Sheet formula, not Google AppScript, to fetch 6-digit pin code from cell this and write array formula for this column. I also use it to write array formula with a single click. It separated pin code from let's say 600 schools. It was addresses of schools. It's separated in different columns, so you can use that. And there are advanced integrations also with computer science. So you can use if you are storing data in Google Sheet, where you use data from your Google Sheet to send emails. Like this could be a reminder to people, or you can use it for business purpose. If you have multiple clients, it could be a reminder, or it could be having a message. It could be for a personal need, or you can have a business dependent on it. If you are storing result of a student in your Google Sheet and you want to share everyone's result to themselves only. So you can have it like if you know mail merge, you can do that with AppScript inside Google Sheet. You can it will use your Gmail ID to use the data from the Google Sheet and it will send you. You can write all those scripts, and those scripts are like just one single prompt. For example, one example prompt would be for example, we have a data, we have a name, email ID, and there is a message. Let's say this is it. We have just simple use case. We can tell ChatGPT to help me write a Google AppScript code to send email from my Google Sheet. I have name in column A, I have email ID in column B, I have the message in column C, and it will give you the entire script, and you can just copy paste and write. And you can have it like advanced script, like you can provide if else condition, you can have those conditions built in Google Sheet itself. Okay. Also, in many cases, what happens is we use data in spreadsheets to generate PDFs. It could be templates or various kind of template. So you can use, although there are third-party paid tools which will help you do that, obviously, but you can also use ChatGPT to write Google script, which can help you which will automatically take your row by row data from your Google Sheet. You have a template and a Google Doc template. It will fill there. It will generate a PDF and will save it in Google Drive. So those are kind of things you can do. Like you can harness the power of Google Apps Script with help of ChatGPT, even if you are not a programmer. Apps Script is something, if you just learn the basics or you just read it, the good thing about ChatGPT code is it is very well commented also. So you can just read those and just at least understand what this code is doing. If it is not working, you can ask the ChatGPT like this code is not working, I'm getting this error, just help me. It will help you with that also. I have that example. You can use it to easily write basic formulas. And you can also use the ChatGPT to write Google Apps Script where you can pull data from various APIs. For example, if you have a website where you want to keep a log of all the logs or all the products or all the orders in a Google Sheet, and you are just looking for third-party solution or plugin or something, you can just ask the ChatGPT to write. Or if you are using a third-party tool which provide open API, you can have the ChatGPT to write an app script, and it will fetch those details from the API and it will store in your Google Sheet. You can also set a reminder based on your Google Sheet, like when a new entry is added or when an entry from this source is added, just send me an email. It will send you an email to yourself also. You can also use it to automate a recurring kind of action. Like if you happen to have a sheet of data where you want to have a column always sorted by highest to lowest, or in any way, if you want a column to be always sorted, but this is a kind of column which is pulling data from multiple sources, and wherever the column gets updated, this sort is not working. So you can write an app script function with now in those cases with ChatGPT, which will automatically resort whenever your sheet is updated. So if there is a kind of action inside your spreadsheet which you keep doing over and over again, it is very likely that Google Apps Script can help you with that. You can write those apps code with obviously with ChatGPT. If you come to programming side stuff, ChatGPT alone is not helpful. You can use it to help you with other tools. Okay, we have sent the last one. Oh, this is interesting one. So yeah. So when you die, this is in that context. So for example, has anyone imagined what will happen if you die? How people around you who are dependent on you are going to get critical information in this digital age? How your family members are going to get detail of your insurance or bank account detail? Are they going to run after bank with your identification detail and those details? What if there was an easy way that you can send an email when you are not there? And this is entirely automated. So there is one condition I came up with, like if I do not access my family Gmail account for let's say 15 days, which means for me, it should also mean for most of you, like either I am in coma or I am dead. So I can write an abstract code, I can have all the essential email and the messages in the group and a personal Google Sheet. It could be for a business also, if you have multiple clients dependent on you, you want to share access to them, like I am no more in this world. Like these are your details. Have someone like these are my referral or my replacement people. You can contact them and get your access as soon as possible, or a personal message to your family. So you can have those details in Google Sheet and ask the ChatGPT to write a custom script, which automatically checks when was the last time you used your Google account or you checked your email account, and if it is more than 15 days, it will automatically trigger email based on that. So this could be your access to bank account, simply, or important details. This is something you can do in a personal work. This is something I have been thinking for almost more than a year. What will happen if I die? I have literally almost.
But there are simple solutions to that problem.
Yeah, but they are third-party premium tools, and I don't think there is a free solution.
There's definitely not a free solution, but isn't this trusting too much? I mean, you would rather have a vault with all the details, share it among the family members, rather than have.
In the case of family members, that is okay. But what if you want to send, like, say, 100 different messages? You need to 100 different people.
Isn't that really creepy?
Okay, what happens if the internet is off for 15 days or 20 days?
That will trigger that, obviously. That will be a kind of false trigger. So it happens. Even there has been false trigger for nuclear bomb also in past in history. So that is technically possible. But in most cases, you can have a different kind of trigger also. Like there are third-party solutions which will provide access to those data based on someone in your family coming up with your death certificate.
Okay.
But if you want things to happen fast, so if you want things to like happen fast,
but this is what I personally what I see is amongst, because we have so many different things in so many various places. All family members have a single wallet where everything is stored, where everybody has
if you
access.
are comfortable doing that, you can.
Yeah,
If you want to keep
because
it
trusting something like a ChatGPT to actually have.
ChatGPT will help you write the Google Apps script. Your data will be in Google Sheet. Your data will be is with Google
It
Sheet.
will still be even
I do that also.
will it stay locked? Suppose if I have a password protected Google.
See, it is not necessary for you to write passwords there. You can write passwords in your paper, put it in a locker, have the password or something. You can write just a message which will be triggered after you. It could be a friendly thank you to all the love. So you do not need to do it for sensitive information. If you are doing for a sensitive information, you can do it like this is the steps how you can access this. Got it?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
where you feel there is
perfect.
sensitive information I do not want to share with, you can Google.
Yeah.
But then they're like go to my bed on this locker, I have this here, in this I have this bank account, I have this locker account.
That makes sense.
A simplest solution would be to send a thank you to your loved ones. Those is like not very sensitive information, but it will get automatically triggered. You can set a timer like if you do not access your Google account for let's say 1 month, 2 months, whatever seems suitable to you, to remove the false trigger case. You can have also different triggers also. So you can ask the ChatGPT, different trigger might be possible based on the APIs or functions Google provides, or you can also provide a different context. Like so, you can change it, but this is the idea. This was one idea. Okay, you can also use ChatGPT to explore models. If there is something repetitive, there must be a better way to do it. That is a simple one. Okay, so you can also use it for YouTube video. So if you are creating YouTube video or planning to do it or procrastinating from doing it, creating videos, so you can have ChatGPT help you with many part of the process. So one thing is it can help you generate video ideas. If you have no expertise on a domain and you want to start creating content, but you are not sure of what kind of content should I create, you can have would not be the best, but it can provide you a starting point, a decent starting point. The idea may not be better, but it will be good enough for let's say 80% population or 80% of the opinion on internet. You can also ask it to create a script. So you can also ask it to create a video script in the style of this YouTuber. That is also possible. In the style of like this. You can provide 10 examples. It is completely up to you. It is text response. Everything you can ask a person, you get like verbal response. You can ask almost similar, almost 90% of the things to ChatGPT. You will get a response in text. So you can just think and apply in different contexts. It can help you summarize transcripts. So if many times I see there is a very good YouTube video, but they do not have a decent description. That is a poor SEO for them, and that is a poor user experience for the user. They do not have it. It doesn't have a proper timestamp. There are third-party tools which can help you auto subtitle. There's like create transcript, text transcript from the audio, and you can have ChatGPT to summarize it. You can have ChatGPT to write a social media. Please post based on it. There are people who like creating videos, or you might be comfortable with speaking in front of camera, but it is very possible that you do not want to write Twitter thread. So you can take help of ChatGPT, and also you are sure that you cannot find anyone who understands Twitter, or you do not have enough resource to have a specific person for that. You can have ChatGPT to provide you a decent starting point. It can help you provide a description. It can help you provide a catchy title and catchy description. So it can help you with SEO partners. You can use it for repurpose your transcripts for different social media platforms. You can also use it to research existing content to some extent. Like you can ask to provide what are most popular videos on this topic or most popular articles on this topic, and provide me a summary of like top 10 So it can provide you. If you have this, like in case of content research, you can use it for like similar. But you can also use to translate. For example, if you are creating content in an English language, you have to, or even a good chunk of what they speak languages other than English. Or so if you want to have your content translate, you can use ChatGPT to translate it. There are other tools also, but you can use this. Okay, so we are coming to a second one where, and this is the last one. We do not have too much content after this too. After that we will go like entire Q&A if you want, if you have questions. We are going to create a WordPress plugin entirely with ChatGPT. We are not going to modify the final code at all. Okay, and this. Okay, so let me give a bit of context. Like for people who have not used WordPress plugin, so but in your WordPress plugin you have WordPress is basically a content management system where you store various different kind of. You have pages, you have posts, you have comments, you have like medias, files, and if your WordPress website is customized for a school, it may have a separate section for list of teachers, list of classes, list of schools, or it can have separate directory for like testimonials. So you have different types of content stored inside a WordPress package. So you can use, and there is a WordPress dashboard where WordPress by default give you a summary of how many posts you have on your website, how many comments are there, how many post pages are there. But what happens when you create a custom post, like you modify your WordPress website to store data or like say classes or testimonials or something which are using custom process. So, or for example, if there is an event website may have a list of speakers, may have a list of sessions. They are storing those data separately. So it can be helpful to see a summary of those data, how many speakers are there in a WordPress dashboard. So it is a 24 minutes of work speed up in 5 minutes. I will keep explaining that. So that gives us just, and this plugin is going to help us fetch the other custom posts which are not inbuilt by default in WordPress, and it will show other posts count there in a similar fashion. By default, shows page, post, and comments. So I'm asking ChatGPT to help me write a WordPress plugin which shows custom post counts at a glance in a widget in WordPress dashboard, where WordPress by default shows the page, and I asked it so it at a glance section similar to post pages and comment count. I'm just giving this one line prompt, and this is going to help me create a entire plugin. There was no plugin like this. Okay, I go to install WP to set up a WordPress instance to test my code. You can do it on your website. So I just created a test website where I can test my code. I just went to WordPress package and installed custom post type plugins, and I will install custom post type plugin, and I will install code snippet plugin so that I can directly put code. And then I created various custom posts, like if it is a school, like list of schools, list of teachers, list of classes. This could be kind of data, and I created various custom posts and few dummy content inside there, and this so that I can test that code. Is it visible from that? Okay. So this is the at a glance website where it shows by default one post, one comment, one page. So
based on code you have also installed another.
You can directly work inside file manager.
Okay.
That is also possible. It is just for the ease. I prefer to store all the codes, custom code I use inside the plugin.
Okay. So what is the language of this code for?
This is WordPress uses PHP.
PHP.
And inside PHP also uses HTML to generate a backend page. So what this does is it provides me a code, and at first it doesn't work for me because it uses outdated function. I told this ChatGPT that this code is not working. I tested myself and told like this is not working. Then it provided me code, and then at first I asked to solve a simple problem. Like I asked the ChatGPT to provide a custom post count for a specific post, custom post. Like if it is a school, in that I had to manually specify my custom post type like a school in the code itself. Then I also asked to create a admin screen behind in the WordPress backend where it automatically fetches all the custom posts which are created inside my website and provide me an option to checkbox and save. And whatever custom post in future I am going to create, it will fetch that. Like, it's like 3-step solution to building a WordPress plugin. Like blog was like one prompt, it is like multiple prompts debugging and then it helped me. Okay, so I also asked you basically it is more toward if you are using WordPress you will get idea. So it's just that you can use it to write about that is this example is not in context of WordPress. If you are not going to use WordPress anytime soon, or if you are not going to write code anytime soon, this might not be very useful. This example might not be very useful, but this is the idea. You can have conversation with ChatGPT. I gave that 10-20 different prompts, and this is not working. Help me with this. It has stopped in between and asked, like, please continue. This code is not working, or provide me all code at once. And like, if you have a problem which can be broken down in 3 steps, it's better to have ChatGPT solve it in one step at a time. Like, I wanted to test the code feature, like, can it solve the post count first? Even if I have to manually update the code with the custom post name. Then I ask, create a custom screen where I can manually select it. So do that so that I do not have to edit the code ever again. So that is the thing I did. I think. In my presentation, I have the link to YouTube video of this unlisted video. If you wish to, you can see it. I will just skip it. This is going to be important. You can use ChatGPT for learning exploration, obviously. And for example, you can get overview of topic, find book on a topic, or find summary of a book. For example, you are going to buy a book, but you just know the name and author. And you buy and you just flip through 2-3 pages and you find like this is boring, I cannot read it. So before buying a book, you can ask ChatGPT to provide a summary. So you can use duals obviously, but in ChatGPT, in this kind of example, it is unlikely for ChatGPT to have a bias summary. For example, if the book author has a different website where they have providing summary of the book or something, they may have a biased response there. So in these kind of examples, ChatGPT can be more helpful than Google. Where you do not need, you are not looking for very specific information, you are just looking for a general idea of this. You can ask it to act as a specific personality whose work is available on internet and answer this question. Act as specific. Or you can also use it to like fun message or story. You can use it like to create fun messages for your friends or family members or a completely stranger. Like write a poem or write a story for this person. You can provide a few characteristics of the question and you can ask it like write it in the style of Harry Potter, or you can provide it. So those kind of fun use case you can do. Like if you want to respond to a happy new year message or a happy birthday message, or you can use ChatGPT to have a very personalized. You can give out 2-3 attributes of that person and it will generate your response, generate a response based on that. So those kind of fun use you may use. Okay. So there are some useful resources which you can start. There are ton of, I have listed a very few, to be honest. There is prompts.chat that will help you get a sense of how you can design for it. So it has a collection of very long prompts, like maybe 100 or even more. You can just visit the website and check it. We have make.com. Make.com is just how many of you know Zapier? If it's like automation tool which helps you to link various different services. So make.com was initially in Telegram. Make.com, I am referencing make.com specifically for the reason they have launched. As of now, they have a ChatGPT integration where you can integrate ChatGPT between various services with. For example, a blog is published on your website or a specific website. You can use make.com to, even without any coding knowledge. These tools are for, these are very intuitive tools. You can have ChatGPT fetch data from there, process that data or content, and do something. For example, if it is not your website, you can monitor using analysis. If a blog is published on, let's say, external website, a different website, a blog is published and you want to write it to a different, and you want to do it in an automated way, you can use RSS feed to fetch whenever your blog is published. And you can use, then you can have ChatGPT read that, then you can have your Twitter account link that automatically post on your Twitter account. or any social media account, or it automatically posting inside your Google Sheet. So you can automate all those things inside tools like Make.com. And Make.com was probably the first major search service to release ChatGPT integration in that. There is an AI for that. So if you are fascinated by AI tools, there are more AI tools we do not know than we know for most of us. So there are tools you can explore. There is a very specific for very narrow use case. You can look there if there is an AI tool which can help you. Also, if anyone uses Notion for content writing, so they can also use Notion AI. So to write, Notion AI is basically built on ChatGPT. It's GPT version 3, DaVinci 003. Then it uses, and you can use inside Notion to write content. So it is very helpful for content writer, or if you use Notion, you can use, as this is not much time. Okay, so that is a big problem. But ChatGPT is always down. Has anyone faced this problem? ChatGPT, yes. Almost everyone. Like, ChatGPT is always down, and I was also to record demo for this session. Wanted to research for this session. ChatGPT was down. I started exploring what are the other options you can do when ChatGPT is down. One easy thing, like first is there are a few workarounds. One easy free as of now is Notion AI. If you use Notion, you can use Notion AI inside. Like this is the easiest solution. It will help you with. It is not exactly ChatGPT, but 70-80% safe. You can use.
Notion AI is not accessible to everyone right now, right?
If it is free, or you can sign up waiting list. Yeah, there is a waiting list, but if you apply for a waiting list, you will get another 2 savings. So if you use Notion, they have a public alpha waitlist option on their website. If you apply for that waitlist, your waitlist will get approved in 1 or 2 weeks automatically. As of now, it is free. Once they make it a premium tool, they will have a paywall, and then you can access it instantly. Honestly, it is in alpha stage as of now. So if someone is using Notion already for writing content or storing, in any way, if ChatGPT is down, you can use Notion AI to some. This is the easiest solution. There are advanced, complex solution, more advanced solution. We will come to that also. You can use OpenAI Playground also. Yeah, that is a good way. You can try with various models. But if you are not a kind of geek or a person who want to attempt, like who want to try 10 attempts for doing one thing, it might be at first. So it has more capabilities, but it has more control. You can control the response length, you can control the evaluation and response. You can try it in Playground. And it has also different AI models, like models who were trained for writing codes, models who were trained for support communication, for person-human communication. They have different models. You can try it. There are third-party WordPress plugins also. If you use WordPress and you want to use inside WordPress for writing content specifically. As of now, that is one of the most common, easily available solution with WordPress and ChatGPT is that you can use WordPress plugins to write inside. They use ChatGPT. ChatGPT has a API key also. It is free for a certain limit. So it uses API, so it is not. It uses API from your personal account. You can sign up for a ChatGPT OpenAI account. You can get an API. It is free until like say 10,000 or maybe such phrases a month, and you will have to use that key in WordPress plugins. Depend on the plugin. There may be a premium plugin which yes.
Could you go back to the slide where
sorry.
Make.com was there? Make.com, can you take a
You will get the entire slide. You will get the entire slide in PDF format at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Don't do it. There is a, I think, taking app like local. There is a Logsync app. It is a local desktop app where you, if you use an app or this app or some similar, you can use this app. They have a GPT extension where you can provide your own API keys, and it also has a list of standard prompt like short phrases. You can also build your own ChatGPT website if you are in development or programming. There are various tools and resources. I have that link icon hyperlink. You can try that. There are resources on YouTube. There are GitHub repositories. Those can help you use a ChatGPT AI, OpenAI API key, and use a model and build up your own ChatGPT type website. You can do that. And you can take help from ChatGPT obviously for writing code and understanding the documentation. You can take it. But I doubt it will help you entirely. But it will help you for 80%. Like if you are if you write code, you will be able to do that easily. Okay, so few further exploration, you can try mega prompts. Mega prompts are like a single prompt with 10-20 different parameters and almost like 1,000 word prompts. And most involving, not a 1,000 word blog like summarize this, like 20 different constants, 20 different conditions, do it in a specific format, provide the output in a specific format. Like this is just, for example, a mega prompt could be like, this is the transcript of a YouTube video, provide this in this specific format. In that format could be a summary, a title, a heading, and then a Twitter post, and then some. It can like you can mega prompts are like basically just a fancy name but with a ton of. If you search, there are some samples available on internet. Some people have provided a few examples mega prompts. You can take copy and paste and write whatever else. You can also create a tweet code. That is a common use. If you have ever dreamed of doing that, that could be one fun project. Even if you do not code, you can use ChatGPT. It will explain you every step. You can ask like how to go about this step. You can use it if you offer product or services. You can use ChatGPT to enhance. Like if they are a product company, they can embed ChatGPT and they can provide different. There are already like more than hundreds of content writing services tools which use ChatGPT. So if you offer any product, you can use ChatGPT. So it could be a key question answer forum or something like auto-generated answer in a question answer forum based on ChatGPT. So those kind of uses, but they may require some development experience. You can use ChatGPT with Google C Doc search also. There is a Chrome extension which helps you with, or if you make a Google search and parallel to the Google search, it will show you response from the ChatGPT. If you start using it many times, you will just ignore the Google search and you will see the ChatGPT result. So this is obviously possible in Google Chrome and Excel. So there are Google Sheet, Google Doc extensions also, which help you easily integrate ChatGPT custom functions inside your Google Sheets. Okay, so you will become lazy with this. So that is okay, in my opinion. Get lazy, but the idea is to get better at your work, get better at your craft, and that's it. Okay, if you need these slides, you can send this QR code and you can visit this. So this you will get the slide in PDF form.